Hello and good evening, wrestling fans. This is John Hoppy. You're listening to or watching the Wrestling Fans Insight, depending which way you're doing this. I am here in my hotel room tonight, doing a different type of setup here as my wife is getting ready to bowl a tournament for the weekend. And unfortunately, I'll be watching WrestleMania courtesy of my Kindle Fire this weekend. At least I'll get a little bit of time to relax in the hotel and watch while she's out playing. But sorry we didn't get an episode out a little earlier. Brian and I were originally scheduled to record last night, Wednesday night, and hoping to release we were hoping to record Wednesday night and release this last night, which would have been Thursday night. So I'm going to actually kind of go through and do a solo today. It won't be a very long episode, and I promise we won't keep you up. But anyways, if you can, if you want to throw in some comments after the show's over, let us know what your thoughts are. We're going to go over some predictions, and I apologize. I'm wiping my eyes because it's been a very long day. But hey, first thing I would love to talk about, it's always a tradition ever since the initiation of Andre the Giant, which is what the foundation of this Hall of Fame was for. But in many years past now, the Hall of Fame class has been coming right at the WrestleMania week. But I think I'd like to mention a few things here and some great accomplishments. First off, we have Stephanie McMahon, former Chief Branding Officer, also two-time Slammy Award winner, and also, for many who do not believe it, but you can go back and actually watch it, she is a former WWF Women's Champion in her right. So congratulations to Stephanie. The next one we have is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. AJ's had quite the career, and once he hit the WWE, it was just a matter of time before he had just even more accomplishments, because this guy, as many say, he is definitely phenomenal, and he has had one hell of a career throughout the pro wrestling world. Just to throw some things out there, AJ is the 32nd Triple Crown champion. He is I believe, a two-time Intercontinental champion or two-time United States champion, one or the other, I can't remember. He's also a two-time World Heavyweight champion, as well as he's held both sides of the World Tag Team Championships. Congratulations to AJ Styles. This one very long overdue. The tag team of Axe and Smash Demolition. They are three-time former World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champions. And I believe as far as the WWF side, they are the longest reigning tag team champions in record. I think that was stomped by the New Day, but I can't remember for sure. I'll have to go back and check it. But if anyone knows off the top of their head, please feel free to throw that in the comments on our YouTube channel. And by the way, as mentioned, this is being recorded. So I won't be able to see any live comments if this is airing on my WF iPod, as well as the FOPW Network X accounts. My apologies, folks. But still, feel free to leave some comments. There is the poster up. Also, another great one, Psycho Sid Vicious. You either knew him as Psycho Sid in the WWE or Sid Justice, or in WCW, Sid Vicious. Sid had quite the career there in both, being a former member of the Horsemen, one of the many few that rotated out. Also believe he was a late member of the Skyscrapers, legendary tag team there in the WCW, managed by Theodore Long, believe it or not. Also, Sid's accomplishments, former two-time World Wrestling Federation champion, one-time WCW United States champion, and also, in his rights, two-time former WCW World Heavyweight champion. Another one that I also is long overdue. This guy was known as pretty much the Stone Cold Steve Austin in the 80s. And many people gave me flack for it. you say you can't compare it. Well, yeah, you can if you actually followed his career, because it was pretty much the same attitude. Just people weren't embracing the anti-hero, the anti-heroes then. But Bad News Brown gets into the Hall of Fame class here in 2026. Very long overdue. In 1976, he did win some Olympic gold. Also, two-time Pan American Games gold medalist. And believe it or not, 4 times Stampede Wrestling North American Heavyweight Champion. Some great accomplishments getting in there. Another one that's made it somehow into the Hall of Fame class of 2026, Dennis Rodman. For many who are not familiar with Dennis Rodman, he's managed to kind of be in the corner of Hulk Hogan pre-NWO, but also in the NWO. The Worm managed to become a member and had a great match with a tag team match with Hollywood Hulk Hogan taking on the team of Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone. But also, last but not least, it looks like now there is an immortal moment as far as the Hall of Fame class. And this year, it's going to go to Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant from the WrestleMania 3 match that was for the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship. And for many who are trying to wonder why, I think the biggest thing was watching Hulk Hogan slam the Giant in the main event right in front of everybody there at the Silver Dome. So, excuse me, I'm kind of trying to run on a little bit of juice here. So, dry throat already. But hey, let's get right to it. And before I go on, big shout out to Wager Wire, especially Billy there. He had me just on this past weekend on his Saturday weekend wrap-up show, as we talked a little bit about WrestleMania moments from the past, but we also talked about the night 1 and night 2 cards too. So if you haven't caught it, his space is recorded. Go follow his account. Go catch up with all the Wager Wire folks there. Lots of great content from basketball, football, college sports, hockey, baseball, you name it, they talk it. Get over there, go visit them at Wager Wire. Also, a big shout out to my tag team partners, William, who's not been able to record the last couple of weeks, but I've been getting his predictions. You can follow him at William Hoppy 8, and I apologize it's not up there. Also follow my good friend Brian, the Brian Adkins, Brian the Hype Ballard. He's on the X app as well. And also, we have an X community on the X app for the fans of pro wrestling. If you go check it out under my Fans of Pro Wrestling Network account, FOPW Network, you can also see the spotlight on my main account, the WFI Pod. And also our brother Carlos, who does a lot of stuff with the Wrestle Collective. He does some great spaces every Monday nights after Raw with Raw Reactions with Carlos, and also Wednesday Night Chaos Wednesday nights shortly after AEW Dynamite. And be sure to go follow Brian's Tap Out Talk channel on the YouTube. Just go to YouTube and do the @Tap Out Talk. Pretty easy to find right there. And we also have a group chat on the X for the fans of pro wrestling. Just get with me, Carlos, or Brian in our DMs and ask how you can join. It's real simple. Just don't be a nuisance. Don't be that tribalistic terror on the X app and you get in. It's just be very respectful. We all have opinions. There's all different wrestlings out there. We don't like every single one, but hey, let's enjoy what we can. But anyways, let's run down the night 1 card. Also going to give the predictions that William and Brian have given due to the fact that it was short notice that we were going to have to record later. Well, I was going to have to record later. So kind of interesting. Night 1 unsanctioned match. This is going to be in the first hour on the ESPN for free, folks. So definitely go check this out. The unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. And this was a clean sweep between the three of us. If anybody else begs to differ, please throw it in the comments there in YouTube or even on my X accounts at the WFI Pod or FOPW Network. But all of us went with Jacob Fatu winning this. For those who are not familiar with Jacob Fatu's work, go check out his stuff from MLW and other promotions. This guy's a beast. This guy is kind of like your Terry Funk and Mick Foley combined in one. And if you're wondering on the Mick Foley side, obviously like Mankind and Cactus Jack combined. So Jacob Fatu, he's a beast. Drew McIntyre, though, don't sleep on him, especially if you try to place a bet on him. Don't sleep on Drew because we've seen what he's capable of as well. He's shown that he's ruthless and was willing to do anything to gain that WWE Undisputed Championship from Cody, and he managed to hold it for a little bit of time there. So being a former champion, that doesn't go unnoticed either. We'll see what happens here on night one. And following that will be the 6-man tag in the first hour as well. Ice Show Speed teaming up with the tag team champions, Logan Paul, Austin Theory, taking on the team of LA Knight and the Usos. And this one, I think, is a little bit different in our opinions. Excuse me again, folks. But yeah, I went with the heels on this one. I'm going with Ice Show Speed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory. William and Brian are going with LA Knight and the Usos. And the reason why I went with the heels on this one, I think it's a little interesting to see what kind of shenanigans that Logan Paul and Austin Theory have been putting Ice Show Speed up with his former friends, LA Knight and the Usos. But something tells me we're going to see something a little sketchy, especially with the slip up from Ice Show Speed costing the Usos the tag team championships to Austin Theory and Logan Paul not too long ago. Now, going into the main event, we have Gunther taking on Seth Rollins. This one's going to be an interesting match because lately we've been seeing Gunther get a little more emphatic with how Seth Rollins comes out in his cockiness and always thinking that he's the best. And you can't be as big as Seth Rollins without thinking that. I mean, that goes without saying. But for a guy who's been retiring folks as of late, AJ Styles, John Cena, still has yet a WrestleMania win, believe it or not. I'm going with Gunther on this one. So is Brian. William, however, is going to go with Seth Rollins. So this will be interesting to see who actually gets this one right. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship in a fatal four-way. The champions, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, will be defending against the teams of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, the Bella Twins, and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, this one's interesting because all three of us picked a different team. So this is going to be a fascinating match. William, despite having to make the pick because he's not a fan of them, but he somehow sees it happen, and he's going with the Bella Twins for this victory. So he's thinking new tag team champions. Brian, very interesting pick. Wouldn't doubt if it happens either, but you never know with these fatal four ways. Because also remember, in fatal four ways, the champions don't have to be pinned for the titles to change hand. So Brian is actually going with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And I think he only did that was to tease me because, Bayley being my wrestling crush in the women's division. So thanks a lot, Brian. I hate you. Way to muddy that water. But always remember at WrestleMania, just because championships are on the line doesn't always mean it's going to happen. And where Nia Jax and Lash Legend just recently got these, they've been doing really well teaming with each other. I think they got a strong presence and can show that they can be probably one of the most dominant women tag team champions of all time. I have a feeling that may be happening, and we're going to see them retain it. So my pick is definitely with the current champions. I think they'll retain. For the Women's Intercontinental Championship match, we have AJ Lee defending the championship against two-time former women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. William is thinking that Becky is going to regain. Brian and myself are going with AJ Lee. Now, keep in mind who AJ Lee is married to. And what does he have that's going to be in the main event tonight, too, which we'll discuss a little later. I have a feeling something big's going to be coming up. And I don't know if maybe AJ Lee may be taking part. Also, the rumors, even though I haven't quite confirmed it yet as of this recording, Paige has also signed a new contract with the World Wrestling Entertainment. A multi-year deal is what I read. Now, again, this is rumors. It's not concrete yet. I know several people claim it's confirmed. I don't want to quite say it yet because I'm not one of those guys. But if that does happen, who knows what may take place if AJ Lee retains that championship successfully against Becky Lynch there. Maybe see a Paige and AJ Lee feud again. Who knows? For the Women's World Championship, and this one's been heating up because I feel this could possibly steal the show at the women's if these two ladies definitely choreograph this match as well as like the Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage, like WrestleMania 3. These two ladies have been at each other's throat for quite some time now, and it's gotten very brutal. We've seen recently where Stephanie Vaquer attacks Liv by pushing her right into Roxanne, bumping heads and these big goose eggs on their foreheads. And yes, those were real, folks. Those were real. I mean, and both ladies actually had to go through the concussion protocol, believe it or not. So there's some great things happening. I think this match is going to be killer. However, we do have another split decision. William is thinking we're going to see Liv Morgan regain the Women's World Championship. Brian and I are thinking Stephanie Vaquer is going to retain. This is really a tough one. Both ladies have earned the right to have that championship on their waist, or in this case, on their shoulder. It's hard to tell. But again, as I mentioned, not every championship is always going to change hands at WrestleMania. I don't see a need to change the championship, especially with some of the conflicts that the Judgment Day is having right now. Now, if Liv gains it, could be a chance Judgment Day may last just a tiny bit longer, but for who knows how long. Stephanie Vaquer, I think she's done a great job with wrestling around the world, but I would love to see them push her a little more. I would love to see more wrestling out of her. Unfortunately, I like to see more wrestling out of WWE, hint, hint. And yes, that was kind of a little attack there, but I always like longer title reigns just because it gives the titles more prestige that way. But you also need to defend those championships more as well. So that's why I'm hoping they'll keep it on Stephanie. And in the main event for the Undisputed Championship, Cody Rhodes, he will be defending against former best friend Randy Orton. Lots to play here. We've seen Pat McAfee get involved and being the voice on the phone talking to Randy Orton in the past weeks. And then we see him come on to SmackDown, gives Cody Rhodes quite the low blow with the foot there, thinking he's back in his punting days. And as I mentioned this on the weekend wrap up last weekend with the Wager Wire group, there's also another thing to consider. Ted DiBiase Jr. Recently had charges dropped for some fraudulent mishandling of charity funds. I don't know the exact. I remember that's pretty much the gist of what he was going to be on trial for, and all of a sudden we just found out publicly it's not going to take place. I could possibly see that surprise come up here in night one. Is we might see some involvement of Ted DiBiase Jr. bringing back the legacy days when Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase Jr., and Randy Orton were all together. And we saw what happened there years later where Cody Rhodes and DiBiase Jr. ended up in a handicap match against Randy Orton quite a few WrestleManias ago. Orton came out on top, I believe, if I remember right, that night. But so let's see what happens. Is DiBiase Jr. going to side with Randy, or is he going to go with Orton? Or is he going to side with Cody, or is he going to side with Randy Orton? Who knows? This is where you keep tuned, and things are going to get a little more interesting here. But I never talked about our picks, and I apologize. So far, William and Brian both believe Cody is going to retain. I'm going to go with Randy Orton, just for the mere fact that Pat McAfee mentioned that if Randy Orton does not win the championship, he will never make another appearance on WWE again. So we know stipulations like that are pretty much they make you think. But I think something like this, where Pat McAfee's been a very good asset to WWE in some capacities, whether it's commentating, getting him on the podcast, I can't see that. I cannot see them having him go away anytime soon. So for that reason, that's why I went with Randy Orton. Brian is not a big stipulations person when it comes to things like that. He's not afraid to voice that opinion. So we'll see what happens. But let's talk about night 2 now. And this is going to be kind of an interesting card. So for the first hour, this is going to be interesting. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Again, first hour ESPN, one of the 2 matches in the first hour on ESPN, by the way. Yes, you're getting that match for free. This is the only match that drove me nuts that I see is getting on free TV. From the way it was sounding, and this was kind of more of a push by ESPN, which I get it, but that's like giving away your main event. It's a little frustrating to see that as somebody who's been watching wrestling for nearly 40 years now, and to see a main event match this caliber, shake my head. But it is what it is. I'm not going to go into my complaining too much, but William, Brian, and myself pretty much clean sweep. We all think Obafemi gets Brock Lesnar on this, and I also have a feeling shortly after this WrestleMania match, we're going to see Gunther maybe possibly want a piece of Brock Lesnar after this. Who knows? For those who didn't pay attention to some of the backstage segments on Raw a couple weeks back, Gunther told Paul Heyman he owes him big. And that's the only thing I can think of is Gunther wants to retire Brock Lesnar. I've always thought Obafemi should be the one, just because he is the new beast of WWE. But we'll see what happens here. Also makes sense to have Gunther do it just because he's retired AJ Styles and John Cena recently. So we could possibly see that. Intercontinental Championship ladder match. This is going to be an interesting one. Penta, who is the current champion, will be defending against Javon Evans. Let's get bouncy, folks. JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. A lot of high flyers in this, except for Rusev. And for me, that's the common denominator right there compared to the rest, is there's always going to be that one different style in the ladder match. Rusev, who's definitely not a high flyer, but he is an ass kicker. I'm going with Rusev just for the fact they haven't done anything with him lately, which is really frustrating. But I think it's time to have something around him and book him a little more too. William and Brian are sticking with Penta to retain the championship. I'm sure mainly because Penta hasn't had it that long, and also, again, we like to see long reigning champions. Not taken away from anything from Javon Evans, just can't quite see it yet. Still new to the roster. JD McDonough still kind of has his moments with Judgment Day for right now. Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, friends of Penta. I just can't see him taking the championship off their friend. But again, you never know with what WWE will plan. And here's kind of a I guess you can say I don't know the proper words to say, kind of run it back from last WrestleMania where Dom Mysterio stole the pinfall victory from Finn Balor in the Intercontinental Championship last WrestleMania. I'm sure Finn Balor's looking for revenge. That's what the word I'm looking for. He's looking for his revenge against Dom Mysterio. Dom recently losing the Intercontinental Championship to Penta. And obviously it was not sitting well with Finn Balor for the last year. Finn has had some opportunities, but not very many. So, and I think with the WWE spoiling, my wife, apparently needs to get involved. And so, with WWE getting him, I got a little flustered now that she got on here. So, I think I was going with Demon, Finn Balor, and Dom Mysterio. WWE spoiled this already with the lineups. So we definitely know we're getting the Demon in this match. And with Finn wanting that revenge, I think this is the best way to do it. So we went with a clean sweep. William Bryan and myself, we are going with Demon Finn Balor. The United States Championship just recently won by Sami Zayn from Carmelo Hayes. This is another interesting one to look at. Sami was almost just a little bit shy of not having this WrestleMania moment and not having anything to do on the card. He manages to get that victory from Carmelo Hayes, which I thought was kind of a cheap victory in many ways. He ends up winning the United States Championship, but now he has to defend it against Trick Williams. I don't think this is going to be a very long run for Sami, especially with next year, WrestleMania being in Saudi Arabia. I think this is a test to see if Sami can pull out the Hail Mary here. I have a feeling the direction is they're going to try to get him a little more involved with the World Championship or the Undisputed Championship come next year. So, but Trick Williams, who's really hot with the crowd ever since he's been brought up from NXT, former two-time NXT champion, former TNA world champion. This guy has been hot. I think it would be a bad move not to get that opportunity on him and get the ball rolling. I think right now, put the United States Championship on him. Let's see what he can do. He's already proved that he can handle big matches. Trick Williams being picked by William and myself. However, the interesting one, Brian, he's sticking with Sami Zayn to remain the United States champion. The only thing I can think of, he's thinking along the lines, possible disqualification, or again, as I said before, we like to see longer reigning champions. This is one where it's a workhorse championship. I wouldn't mind. This is one you don't mind seeing change hands too often. So, and again, sorry, I'm going to take a quick break here. For the WWE Women's Championship, Jade Cargill will be defending against Rhea Ripley. Interesting thing here. We're starting to see kind of a old gimmick from AEW on Jade Cargill here. And what I mean by that is she had her baddies from AEW, multiple members in her stable. And we're seeing that with Mia Yim and BFAB joining her recently. And kind of interesting in her absence, obviously due to pretty much putting off a surgery. But I think she just recently had it too. And I'm not sure. I got to go back and confirm it still. But we haven't seen Bianca Belair lately. And this is the one where I think is a good opportunity if Bianca is medically cleared to come get in. But I could see her joining Shade Cargill's stable if that's the case and costing Rhea Ripley the championship. Well, not costing her, but costing her the opportunity to become a champion. William and Brian are thinking Rhea Ripley's going to become the new WWE Women's Champion. I'm sticking with Jade Cargill. Again, I think with Jade getting her faction going, to me, it makes sense to keep the championship on her. I know it's not a popular decision with the IWC. Not many people are happy with her performance, and I get it. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Sometimes WWE doesn't necessarily book how well someone's doing in the ring, but it's their presence and presentation that also get things over. But it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end result on this one. And in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, CM Punk defending against Roman Reigns. William obviously picking Roman Reigns. He's not a CM Punk fan. He and probably won't be. And I understand why he's not. It's the same reasons why I have mixed feelings on Punk. I'm still not sold that he's all that happy and everything else. I don't know. Maybe he has changed for the better. I can't ever say because I'll never be able to speak for Punk. I do respect that he's come back and made amends with a lot of the WWE talent and also the upper management. So kudos to Punk for that. However, I think with the way storylines are going, especially with the feeling WWE versus TKO, it's really going to be interesting to see if that is going to be the case here with the aftermath of WrestleMania. So who knows? We may see The Rock get a little more involved here. However, with the championship on the line, Brian and myself are saying Punk is going to remain champion. And that's it for the 2 WrestleMania nights, as well as the Hall of Fame inductions, or the WWE Class of 2026. I really screwed this up, folks. Sorry. What I meant to say is the WWE Hall of Fame Class of 2026. So, anyways, I hope you all have a great weekend. Please sit back, enjoy WrestleMania this weekend, wherever you watch it, whether it's Netflix, internationally, ESPN here in the U.S., or whatever means many of you other sneaky snakes will try to do. But anyways, this is John Hoppy. Again, you're watching the Wrestling Fans Insight. We will be back next week with our thoughts from the results of WrestleMania, what it may lead into Backlash. So good night, everyone, and we'll see you next week.